Hey, Phil from Got Memories here. I'm working through a Sony mini DVD camcorder situation that is very common. Apologize for my hair today here. It's a bit of a spiky, electrocuted morning. So this is extremely common. 30% of people didn't finalize their discs back in, the year 2003 or whenever you had these camcorders or they had the camcorders. So I get a lot of these orders in. It is the worst format in terms of variables for problems, in terms of scratch discs, unfinalized discs, all the different brands of camcorders, and they are all specific to the disc. So if they weren't finalized, you got to find out what brand of camera. And even if you had, all right, it was a Canon. Oh, I had a Canon, definitely had a Canon. You put it in a Canon camera, it won't finalize, won't read. It has to be, sometimes it is model specific. Also, these cameras are extremely fickle, and they weren't made to last 20, 25 years. If you drop them, this is all very delicate. It's like dropping your DVD player on the ground. The kids got hold of it when they were young and messing around with it, and they dropped it. You didn't know about it, and then it set off all these different problems. But this video here, I'm going to show you where, and make sure this is a way to get the discs when they won't finalize to play, okay? So if they won't finalize, definitely putting it in your old camera. You still got the old camera. Okay, so you looking on the disc here. This has got content. See that different shade of purple there? The lighter shade is darker on the inside spindle. That is data, okay? This is completely blank on this side. It's all like the same kind of purple color. So this is a two-sided disc. Now, if you've got scratches, smudges, fingerprints, anything like that, it needs to be cleaned off with... you need disc cleaner, Amazon, all that kind of stuff. Or if you just want to wipe your hands of it and you want me to do it, I'll talk to you about that in a second. But this is a way, so you put it in very carefully, close it up, and I'll show you what is happening. Now, this pile of discs here, none of this was finalized by the customer. So I've just gone through and figured out and finalized everything that would finalize. Now, as always, there's usually about 20 to 30% of discs that will not finalize on every job. Now, there's data recovery software like CD Roller, which I've got videos in the channel on, and that is a pain in the ass, and you want to avoid that at all costs because it's so time consuming, and it sometimes can take all day to get them to go. Now, this is just saying disk access. This is taken for, okay, here we go. So that's a good sign right there. Last year, used May 2010. So we're talking as of right now, over 14 years ago. Okay, so you're seeing this kind of stuff. Now, if you go to, and pardon me because I am trying to do this through watching the screen on my phone. See, look, finalize is grayed out. You think, oh, it's finalized, but you've put it in a DVD player and it will not play. This is, I've already tried that, okay? And it won't go, okay? Trust me, it will not. And then format's grayed out, unfinalized is grayed out. Don't ever do format if you have got rewritable or RAM discs, because you can delete the entire content of it, and people have done that. Now, sometimes if you're unfamiliar with this menu, they all have different menus. Even the Sony's, they're kind of the same. It's very confusing. You don't have the instruction booklet. You hit the play button and it just does this. And now you're like, where'd it go? What happened? It's a pain in the ass. Welcome to my world. Okay, so, and then you're like, okay, it's back. Or is it back? What's happening? It's just sitting there. Make sure, again, you've got this on a stable surface, plugged into the mains. Do not have it on battery, because if it's halfway done finalizing, well, it won't even let you finalize if the battery is low, but you can start to finalize this and make this completely unreadable. So you need to have the mains adapter. Okay, so now I've hit that and it's all gone. Like, where is it? Okay, so it's reading off photos. You need to hit the movie button, that little thing right there, and then you'll see it. And then what you have to do is you've got to play it through the camcorder. You've got to capture it in real time. It's the only economical way of doing this in terms of time and what have you. So you can use various different USB capture methods. I personally, here at the shop, use Elgato. I've tried everything over the years. And yes, there are, as I mentioned in all my videos, sad trolls galore that do not understand how to run a video transfer business, don't understand. They've never owned a business in their life, and they don't understand reliability, efficiency, and price points, competition, all that kind of businessy stuff. And forgive me for not paying attention here. I'm trying to get this cable. So if you are going to be hooking this up, you can hook it up via different methods. But if you're just wanting oh crap, now the picture's gone. Anyway, so you can capture it through, USB, RCA jacks, S-Video. If you want to go the long route, and you can do, I don't even think this camera has the outputs on it. This is another thing, is with all of this old technology, is the only outputs that you get on some of these. There is USB right there. So you can run it through USB 1.0. This is another thing. Or you can run it through the cable. Through the RCA jacks. And honestly, for the average person, you just want to watch these things and have efficient file sizes, not spending years. I mean, this is older footage, but to have it go that quickly, boom, plays with clear picture and audio, and being mini DV newer, it is going to be better quality. But it's all about how much time do you have, and if you will have a business, how much customers are willing to pay, because everyone's looking at all these cheap, crappy companies online, and they're like, oh, legacy box, they're $8-9 a tape or disc or whatever. And I can tell you 100%, you send all of these discs off and you prepay $400-500, and then they send them all back 3 to 6 months later, and they've all got stickers on them saying they do not transfer this type of media, and then you do not get a refund. You get a credit, okay, for other home movies. And you're like, no, you've sucked already. Why would I want to give you even more of my stuff? And that's if you get all your stuff back. As I say, when you send off to a lot of these companies, especially, Legacy Box, South Tree, Kodak Digitizing, they're a shit show. I mean, the staff reach out to me constantly via text, via email. They comment in the videos, current and former. And they're just like, this is awful here, and we're losing stuff. We don't transfer stuff. I feel bad, but the management and everyone is just a shit show. So you've really got to do your homework when you're entrusting the only copy of your memories, especially on fickle formats, like all of these videotape formats, DVD formats. Someone needs to be spending time with them. And that's one thing when you're paying cheap prices, you're not hiring experts. You're hiring hire and fire, fast food worker mentality, labor force. So if they're getting paid, $11-12 an hour, if they're lucky, no benefits whatsoever, and could be cut and fired at any given moment, the same attitude and ethos is just kind of like, So that's why there's so many bad reviews via Google Maps for reviews, not google.com, because they're putting up fake ads with 5-star reviews, but that's a graphic they've made in Photoshop, and it's just planted on the overlay of the ad, and it's fake. But you have to go to maps.google.com, type in or any company you're looking at, and really you've got to see hundreds of reviews with a 5.0, 4.9, I see transfer companies in the 2s, the mid 3s, awful. You don't want to see any bad reviews, or at least if there's something bad, I've got a couple where people are just like, There's always one idiot. And, and if you do see bad reviews, you've got to see like a really good response back. There's only a couple I've got over like 22 years, and you're like, hello, like, you are completely incorrect and wrong, but it tells the story. but and also a YouTube channel. If you can see the premises and the person that's passionate and swearing at all this stuff, because it is a giant pain in the ass, all of this stuff is 30, 40 years old. All the equipment, fixing stuff is just, this is all just constant. Look at this mess. And this looks like a mess because it is a mess. Because this is all broken, dirty equipment. Tapes get stuck in there. People have had gunk handing over their crap, and then it gets stuck in the players. And I got to spend 20 minutes to get, Christmas 1998 out of the damn thing. And, and then taking these things to pieces, because this all plastic shite, okay? This was all made in designed in the 70s. How can we make this as cheap and mass produced as possible? And it's just shit. And here we are 40 plus years later dealing with all of this shit that most people have not taken care of their stuff. I get these discs in, I request pictures of them. Look, that's just the case that's scratched. Now imagine if this wasn't in the case. This is what the bottom of the discs look like. Sometimes I get them in. I'm like, yeah, I can run them through disc cleaner. It takes about an hour to kind of sand it all down and what's it worth to you? If it's Jimmy's T-ball game and it's just like throw it away. To be honest, it's what it means to people. If you would like to get a quote from me to do this stuff, I say this with sincerity, and I don't mean this condescendingly whatsoever. If you care about your memories, then fill out the quote form or contact me. If you're looking at it and going, it's just, I get it. I get it. But don't contact me if you don't care, because my prices are higher. I'm reasonable, but I don't like to waste my time and customers' time. I got a lot of questions with all this stuff because I have to know the history of this media, where it's been, how it's been cared for, and how much of a pain in the ass is this going to be to digitize with clear picture and audio, because that's my end goal with everything, is clear picture and audio. And if it's going to take me more time, you haven't stored the stuff in the, climate control conditions, in a sealed container, I've got to dig through egg nests, through rat droppings, through 30 years of dandruff and pet dander and hair and all that crap. My hands are black most of the boxes I open. I'm going to get dust happens and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of gross sometimes, and I've been doing this a long time, and I don't need the business. I stay busy, it is. So, and long story short, if you don't give a crap, you're going to find somebody that doesn't give a crap equally, and they're going to be cheaper, and that's going to be your best route, and fingers crossed. Or just honestly throw it in the trash. So tell some people, if you don't care about it, just chuck it away. Save yourself the $700 that you're going to be paying to some of these crap companies, and move on with your life. And then there'll be no drama whatsoever. It's just I haven't watched it. I don't even remember what's on it. Don't even know what's on it. I guess I'm not missing much. There you go. But for the people that really do care and care about this stuff, there aren't many of us out there that care. So you've got to fit that into the equation. So, but it is relative to what people spent on all the camcorders, the blank media. There was an investment with this stuff back in the day, especially if you had, many different camcorders over the years. One of these silly things, ran about $1,200. This was about probably $600. The blank discs cost money. If you went into the early 80s, you're talking $8,000 for a camcorder in the early 80s. Blank tapes were $25 each in the early 80s. So you kind of go, right, what is this going to be worth? So anyway, it's what it's worth to you. It's sentimental stuff. Anyway, there's my pitch. If you are doing this yourself, good luck. You're going to need a lot of patience. If you're searching, you'd like to get a quote from me, gotmemories.com. Fill out the quote form as best you can. If you can't really, kind of fill it out. And then I do follow up with more questions. So if you are shopping around, the more questions you get asked back from a company, it's usually a good sign. If they're like, hey, no, just throw it in the box. Just send it to me. Here's the bill. Pay it up front. No, red flag. Do not pay anything up front at all, okay? Don't pay anything up front because it just is a scam, possibly. But you want to make sure they've got it, everything's on the same page, it's all going to be done right, and there's no crappy upsells, there's no scamminess. I think keyword here is scamminess. A lot of people getting scammed. So, and making sure that the owner has their shit together. My God, I cannot stress the importance of the owners of these companies having their shit together. You are taking these owners that just don't, they're just haphazard. They're like, oh, sorry, this excuse, turnaround times are 6 weeks. My turnaround times are in the days because I just get stuff in and get it out. My price points are higher, so I have lower volume, so I can spend more time with this stuff. So the higher the price you get what you pay for. You buy cheap, you buy twice, or you buy cheap and you'll never see your shit again. So anyway, I'm in Phoenix. I am by appointment, so I'm not in England. I am in Phoenix. I'm by appointment for local drop-offs, but I do get people ship me these discs from all over the world. So make sure, if you are international, you're checking that box, because so many people hand it off to companies in their own native country and they're like, sorry, can't do anything with them, and they still keep charging them, and then they go to YouTube, and then here we are. So I do take in international orders. Anyway, that's me. Enough ranting. Cheers. Bye.